Good morning. It's Saturday morning here in Colorado, and for today's video, we're going to be making some boxes. So I've got two different boxes that we're going to be making. This is the first box. Super cute. Oh my gosh. Yes, I've been making lots of boxes. Love this. Love this. Super cute. Very sturdy. I mean, you can put all kinds of stuff in this and it's gonna hold up. So we'll be making this box first. The only supplies you'll need, you can make this with any size paper. I've seen it made with 6x6. You can use 8x8, 10x10. I will be using, these are all made with 12x12. So grab a sheet of paper that you've got. Definitely, my rule is always to start with scratch paper, maybe paper you don't like, or something that you're going to shred from the mail, just plain copy paper. Start with something that is not special. You save your special paper for when you're ready to go and you've got it down and you know what you're doing here. The second box that we will be making is this box here. Let me get these out of the way. It's also a 6x6 box, basically. Well, it comes out a little smaller than that. It comes out around 4x4, but using 6x6 paper or 12x12 cut down to 6x6. And it's a little, not quite as sturdy on the bottom. It doesn't have all the layers of paper. These have been put together and I'm holding them together with a glue dot so that, it holds up enough if it's sitting on your desk or for a small gift. But if you're looking to carry it around, you need to give a little more support there. So each box, they have an advantage that's unique, and we'll talk about what that is. So look at this. I've been there's so many boxes. It's crazy. So the advantage of this box is that you can see both patterns of your paper. So it's really pretty in that sense. It's just got a nice, unique creativity to it with all the different colors that show. Because it's thinner, it's also easier to have it as a one to be used as a lid. You can cover it much easier. See how this goes? It's going to be way more pliable to stick it in there, and now you've got a little gift box. So that comes together really well. The other advantage with this one is by using the way this will come together with using 6x6 four 6x6 pieces of paper is each side of the box can be a unique pattern. So that's really fun and really pretty. So you see here, I've got this great paper and it's just bright and cheerful and fun. And then you can even have the lid on that. So that's, I think, really nice. The advantage of this other box though, is that you don't even need any tools. You don't need any special equipment. You just need one sheet of paper that's even on both sides, and you don't need to measure anything. You don't need anything to make this. So we're going to be doing both of them. I'll start with this one. And then for those of you who want to try to make this one, the tool that you need for this, and you may not have it, so that's why I'll start with this one. And then if you don't have this, you can turn off. But you need a punch board. So if you have a punch board and you've thought, oh, I only use this for my envelopes, you can use this to make these boxes today. So grab that if you want, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to set all these boxes to the side. So many boxes. These are just so fun going into this holiday season where there's candy everywhere and treats and gifts. And if you want something special on your desk at work for when people pop by, this is great to have on your desk to put little, Hershey Kisses in it and stuff. So here's my 12x12 piece of paper. The way you want to start is pick which side that you want to be your outside design, because as I said, on this box here, you only see one pattern. You don't get to see both pretty sides of it. I do recommend a pattern paper. It does tend to be thinner. And most of it is pretty easy until we get to the very last fold. And that's pretty tight, pretty crisp going over that. So the pattern paper tends to be a little thinner, so you may be happier with the outcome. The one tool you may want to use is the bone folder. I've been happier with the outcome of this using the bone folder. As you can see, this nice crisp edges. And then when I didn't use it, it just gets a little thick and heavy in there, getting over that last ridge. So just the thought, you may want to grab your bone folder. Super easy. You're going to say, how have I not ever done this before? So I'm going to take this paper. I want this to be on my outside. So the first thing we do is, and I apologize if my head gets in the way, I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. Nothing fancy, just folding it right in half. And then again, keep it crisp. Just run that bone folder over both sides. And then I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to fold it the other way. So easy. Oh my gosh. And this is going to be just so pretty with your Christmas paper. I mean, you can have stuff out as part of your Christmas decorations, Halloween treats if you're throwing a little Halloween party, fall colors for Thanksgiving festive, you know, side treats on the corner tables. I mean, there's just so much you can do with this, and it comes together really fast. Okay, so now we've got the two folds. This is going to be on the inside, so you're not going to see this anymore. This will be the outside. And then we're going to fold each of the four corners in. And this helps, again, keep an eye on where those seams are. Not difficult. Cardstock, you can certainly do this with cardstock. You can stamp it in advance. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have pattern paper, you can break out some stamps, some ink, sponges, you know, just whatever you want to do. Once you've done it a time or two, you can probably see where you would potentially punch holes if you wanted to string a ribbon through to have a little handle. You know, like we used to have those Mayday baskets back when we were kids. Okay, so then I'm gonna just brush those sides down nice and tight. And then I'm going to flip it over. Okay. Okay, and again, this you may not need to do this if you're better at folding than I am, or if you're using a really thin paper that lets you crease really well. But if your paper has any tension to it, I think you'll just be happier with this. Okay, so now coming to the kind of the last folds, we're going to bring this side up to this corner with the center piece here where all four corners meet. And line it up on the side there. And there. And this is nice because if it's one of these last minute, like, oh no, it's her birthday. This can come together really fast for putting a special treat in there and leaving it on somebody's desk at work or for a neighbor. Let's see, now we got several layers of paper here, so this is when it becomes really evident the importance of getting these seams down. Okay, so fold those two sides out, and then now on the other side, and this is coming together so fast, we're almost done. Am I crazy? Fold that in, and then you're gonna fold. And again, if you don't have 12 by 12, you can do this with 10 by 10 as long as it's square. Because you're not measuring, you're not cutting, nothing. So, pull that down. Okay. So the other thing here, now when I bring this together, what I have found is when I am going to fold my last two flaps in, I like to have a couple glue dots, whatever adhesive you have. Glue dots are just, you know, super easy. So if you have any glue dots around, you may want to grab those and have those ready to go for a securing device just to keep the flaps down. So now when we open this up, okay, so you can see you got all these. This is the bottom of your box right there. Okay, this is going to be the side. This is the other side. And then it's just we're gonna fold these in on themselves. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So this is the ridge I was talking about. Really helps having that as tight as possible. Okay. And then we do the same thing over here. Just fold these back in. And there you've got your box. Isn't that just so silly and easy? So then let's do a couple glue dots here to keep that together. I mean, it really just doesn't get any easier than this. It just doesn't. So, so there's the end of the roses on the back side. We're not going to see them anymore. So I'm gluing this down. Just push that down. And you only need 2, because there's only going to be 2 flaps. I just put it right up here in the corner. Bring that down in. And there's my box. Super sturdy, great, love it. If you wanted to make it more durable, I haven't tried this yet, but I was thinking about it this morning. If you wanted to make it a little longer lasting or permanent, if there was something especially nostalgic about the paper, you could probably Mod Podge it, and then it would have a nice sheen on it and a protective coating so that it wouldn't damage as easy. So something to think about if you try the Mod Podge. I'd love to hear about it. Let me know if that works. It's just something I thought of this morning but hadn't tried yet. So here's that box. So we'll set that aside. And now let me show you how to make these boxes. So here's a couple of other examples that I hadn't shown you that are super cute because you can use, you're going to see different patterns of paper. So this is really fun, again, to bring out your designer series paper, your pattern paper, and try this. You can, I used 6x6. The way this will come together, again, I'm using a cutting board, and I just grabbed this off of eBay, I'll be honest. I didn't, if you have a coupon for Michael's or Hobby Lobby, that's another great way to find them. I believe there's different brands. This is, we are Memory Keepers, that's what this is. This is Memory Keepers. And I actually had, oh, sorry, this jumped. I've had this for a while and I really didn't know how to use it. So I'm going to tell you a couple things if you've got one, or if you're going to get one, or you've had it and you haven't used it for a while. The secret is you've got these grids down here. So we're going to be going across to the 6x6 paper size. Okay. And the score line it says here is 2 inches and 2 5/8 inches. So I'm going to go this way, 2, 3, 4. So there's the 2 5/8. The secret is when we put it in, then we don't keep going back to the 2 5/8. You use the score guide. This, and I'll show you how this works. The other thing to think about when you're picking your paper. So paper, let me grab a sheet here. Let me find something that's got directional so you can see kind of the problem. I highly recommend paper that doesn't have direction on it. So if you are, oh, I don't have anything handy. Let me see if I've got something in here that, okay, so here's one with the penguins. Let me pour this paper. If you've got something that it has an up and a down, so this is the direction the paper should always be looking at. When you look at this final result image here, you can see this is going to turn it. So no matter what you do, whichever corner, it's going to no longer be directional. So it's really helpful in this project to make sure your paper, it doesn't matter which side is up. Okay, so I'm going to be using this paper that I have here. It's just this crazy, goofy pattern. It's bright, it's fun. I've never made cards with it because it's a lot brighter than my style for cards. But for a box, oh my gosh, this stuff is Great. Okay, so 6 by 6. I don't care which way ends up. I don't even know what's going to be on the outside and the inside yet. I'm just going to start cutting and it'll come together. So 2 5/8. So I bring my paper over to 2 5/8. Okay, so let's go right to 2 5/8. I punch. You can either use this, whatever stylus you have. I like this one. This is my favorite. And I'm just going to run this through this crease right through here. And then I'm not going to pay attention to these numbers again. I'm going to rely on my style guide. And that style guide goes right into this crease here. I line that up, pop it, and then I do another one. And so it is naturally going to come together using this guide. I'm going to do it over here. So put that right into that seam. Do my punch. Get that nice and creased in there. Punch. And now I've done all 4 sides, okay? There's also embedded in here a corner rounder. So I'm just gonna round off these corners. Okay, so now I've got my 4 sheets of paper, because I did a couple of these before. I figured you wouldn't want to be watching me. What I found helpful, and let me see if it was this box. Before we assemble, we're going to go ahead and keep trimming and things, but before you assemble, you'll want to line up which piece you want in order, because if we start gluing too secure, you may get things a little wonky in your design. So anywho, okay, so once you get your 4 pieces cut, you're going to want to just to make sure they're all aligned. So like this one is the small, so let's turn it like that. And then there's my 4th piece. So they should all come together. So each one has a seam. Each one is rounded, big one to small, big to small. So they're all in place. Then this is going to be the bottom, or one will be the bottom, one will be the top of these large flaps. For the side flaps, they are going to be what secures it all the way around on all 4 sides. But we only need one side. The other side we're going to just hack off. Doesn't matter which side, because they're all the same. So get your scissors and just hack off one side. Like I said, doesn't matter which. I don't even know still which side's going to be up or down. I haven't gotten that far yet. So, okay. And then whack that one off. And then just turn it over. And you're going to give yourself about 1/4 of an inch. You can see, let me see if this is a good one, on the inside of this box. Can you see that? So that's my tab that I'm going to secure to the other wall to hold the box together. Okay. So each one is about, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch. Enough to use. I use tear tape is what I'll use. So just think about making sure the tear tape, will fit on that flap. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to worry about. So there's that piece. Not very straight. And trim. It's okay. It's the inside of the box. Who cares? And then we'll do this one. And then we'll do this one. Okay, so I'm just going to fold both of these and and again, haven't decided yet what's going to be outside and what's going to be inside the box. So I'm just folding all these edges. The reason I wait to fold is because, again, when I'm whacking off, this one missed a crease. Oh well, it's okay. Quite forgiving. As you can see, apparently missed one there. It just saves a little bit of extra effort, because I can either fold them all at the beginning, but then I found, why was I doing that? Because I was cutting it off anyways. Okay. So there's that. Okay. So this is a nice use of that board because I bought the board thinking, oh, this will be great. I'll make all my own envelopes. And I do make some, but not near as many as I expected to make. And so this was a good way to put it to use. So now I've got my 4 pieces of paper and I need to decide what's going to be on the inside and what's going to be on the outside. I'm thinking I want the green to be on the flap. So if the green is down, do I want it to look like that? Like that? Maybe I want all the pink on the outside. Ooh. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so let's do like this. See how I want to alternate? This is what I was saying. Before you get too far into it, you want to make sure that you've lined everything up correctly. So this one, see, I got my tab over here, and I've got this one upside down, so I'm just going to move my tab. There we go. There we go. There's that tab. Oop, I can trim this one a little bit. So again, just nice to keep kind of an eye on what you're doing. This is just a little bit high, so gone, no more problem. And then there's that tab, and then this one. Okay, so when I look at these, I wanted to make sure they were alternating, and they are. So now I can put my tear tape on, and I will kind of start the assembly. And these flaps down here will make up the bottom of the box. Okay, so just pull off a nice big piece. This is how I do it. I don't know how other people do it, but okay. It's nice when there's projects that don't require a lot of measuring. It's a little less stressful for me. Don't worry about mistakes. I can just focus on the fun of the project and be creative and not have any rules. After a long week of work, it's just nice not to have to have any more expectations. Just do my own thing and do it with a little freedom, not having the rules and measurements and cutting and worry about making mistakes. This is pretty easy and comes together. So okay, so we want to do green, lavender, green. I think that's lavender, I'm not sure. Okay, so get these nice and tight. We also you can either glue the flaps down now, or you can glue them down in a little bit. These will be on the side. There's different ways. This is just the easiest one that I came up with. Just grab your sticky stuff here, and that goes down. There's that, and then the last flap. There's that. So flaps are down. Super easy. So here's this one. Make sure all the tabs are out because I spin them around. And then we just start securing. So I'm going to tear off that piece and then get your paper here, your edge right into that crease where you have your tab folded over, and measure top to bottom before you push down, because tear tape, not so forgiving. It's difficult to move once you've got the tear tape, but whatever kind of adhesive you like. If you have your Tombow, that's very forgiving. Oops, see, there I go. I'll do green next, alternating. Okay, and then my last one here, second to last, I guess. This always comes off so easy until I'm on a camera. And then we'll do this piece here. Let me get that right into the edge. Line them up. Is that lined up? Yeah. So this bottom seam is nice to line up over the top because the top can be a little off depending on where you folded it. And then we'll do this one. So I just flip mine over is how I do it. There we go. And then this should line up pretty close, but I like to push it just to make sure if I didn't get it right someplace else that I don't screw up my box now. Here we go. So now you've got your 4, and then we just bring these together inside. How pretty is that? Now to secure this, because you don't have a lot of overlap, you've just got a couple little spots. So once again, I like my glue dots for this. I pick which 2 I want to be on top of this bottom flap. And I'd rather have the green, I think. So I'm just gonna move them around, and that's how I want it to look. So the way I do this is I start going this direction, and I do it really light at first just to get them in place, and then I push it down at the very end. So I get it as straight as possible. Put that glue dot in there, and then I push down, and then I flip it over and put these on the top. Okay. Okay. So I can put the glue dot there. Let go. There we go. And then again, it doesn't have to be perfect right there. Just gonna enough to hold it until I have it all assembled. And then I do one there. Push that down. And then when I flip it over, then I can push it nice and firm. Whew, there's our box. How super easy, fast, and fun, and pretty is that? So as you can see, there's different advantages. This one goes together with no equipment, no tools, nothing. Just don't even need to measure anything. This one, though, what I like is that each side can be different. And of course, you glue better than I do. You would glue your sides down just to make sure it's all coming together. I was just going fast for today. But this is pretty because you've got literally 8 different patterns, and it's so pretty. Using the thinner paper, again, makes it easier to have a lid for it. They're basically the same. This one's a little taller. That's another difference. But otherwise, the dimensions are the same. This one's just a little bit taller. So I hope you liked today's box projects. And let me know how you like them, how yours turned out. Send me some pictures. Oh, and as I mentioned, once you've done it a few times, you'll be able to see which flap, if you wanted to punch a hole and put a little ribbon to make it a basket. On this one here, I would recommend putting it before you glue it down inside this flap here, and then inside this flap here. Tie them, the knot in, and then secure it down. So, or you could have, of course, the little knots sticking through. That's fine too. But either way, I'd recommend doing it that way. And then you can glue it inside even if you wanted. So lots of creative things that you can do with these boxes. And hope you liked today's project, and I'll be back soon. If you have any ideas, anything that you want to learn how to make or you want to see me make, just put it in the comments and we'll put it together. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.